You will need to fill in this table by first starting with phonetic transcription of a word according to where the stress falls. Remember, with all these words, I am marking for you with the underline where the stress falls. Here it falls on MAR. Therefore, the first thing you're going to do is the phonetic transcription according to the rules you saw in chapters 1 and 2. How is that pronounced? Well, the stress that you see here is on the second to last syllable, so that's a yana. In this column, you're going to have to tell me what the rule says about this word. The rule says that if it ends with an S, it's a yana. Then you need to correct the word. Why do I say the correct word? Because here I have the rough word. Rough word, we don't know, I haven't included any accent marks because that's what this is practicing. You're writing and to see if a word needs an accent mark. So does this word need an accent mark? Martes? Well, since the pronunciation matches the rule, which I have here, the rule matches the pronunciation, no accent is needed. In the second one, I have miércoles, where I have underlined the syllable, M-I-E-R, mier. I've transcribed it to show where it falls, following those rules in chapters 1 and 2, and you will see that that is how it's pronounced is nesdrújula. It's very important that you review those rules so that you syllabify correctly. What does the word say? What does the rule say about this word? Well, the rule says if it ends with an S, it's going to be a yana. So I write yana here. Now the correct word, does this word need a written accent? Well, yes, because the rule here does not match the pronunciation. Let me do one more here for you. I'm going to go down to the irregular one marked by an asterisk. This actually should not have an accent. None of them should in this category, in this first column. Problem is the computer will autocorrect. You need to see how it autocorrects to see if it's the right word that you need. I'm going to transcribe it according to how I've underlined it. You can tell that I did not underline the A, so you know immediately that these two are separated. Why is it starred? You'll see why. According to the rule, it's a yana. According to how I'm pronouncing it, second to last syllable, it's a yana. So the rule equals the pronunciation. Does that mean the word is written without the accent? No. I have purposely put that star there to bring your attention to the fact that you have a weak vowel next to a strong vowel. And since here only the weak vowel, the I is underlined, you know you need to separate them. And that's why it's an irregular. And I can do one more here, resolviéndotelo. If I transcribe this word, I'm placing the accent mark where you see the underline. You say, well, how do you know whether to put the accent on the I or the E? Well, I know it goes on the E because you cannot have more than 2 vowels in a syllable. That weak I is going to be changed to a semi-consonant, and therefore the vowel that's remaining receives the accent. What is the phonetic transcript? How am I pronouncing the word according to how I've transcribed it? As a sobresdrújula. What does the word say about this? Excuse me, what does the rule say about this word? Well, it ends with a vowel that makes it a yana. Therefore, the rule does not equal the pronunciation. Copy that there. The rule does not equal the pronunciation, therefore I know that the word is going to need an accent. That accent on the phonetic word, on the orthographic word is going to match where it is on the phonetic transcription. Remember, all the answers are found at the end of the document. I have here a little more explanation on when you use accents. I talked about irregulars. We use accents in those situations where you want to split up an I or U with another vowel. You will also use an orthographic accent to distinguish between monosyllabic words that you find in this section right here. Se versus se. It's pronounced exactly the same but has different meaning. Those are things that you need to simply memorize or remember while you're transcribing. Also, remember that question words all receive accents. This is to distinguish them from connecting words. When we see an accent over a word, we know that it's going to be between these question marks or even between exclamation marks, but mostly it's going to be between the question marks. You'll notice the difference between por qué. You have two words here and the stress is on the que, whereas when it's a connector, it's one word and the stress will be on the o, porque, because it's a llana. And I have here a list of examples showing that this is one of the most difficult activities to do, but this represents most likely the writing that you will be carrying out in your 300 and 400 level Spanish classes, where you have to add accent marks, and you're going to add them according to how we've been analyzing our words up until now. We'll say that this word is ends with an S. It should be Ayana, but I'm telling you that it's right here. So I know that that's breaking the rule and therefore I need an accent. Gomez does not ends with a consonant. Therefore it should be an aguda, but I'm telling you it's Ayana, therefore it breaks the rule. Llegó, does it need an accent? Well, it's not llego, it's the past tense, llegó. Ends with a vowel, therefore it's llana, but the way I'm pronouncing it is an aguda, therefore I overwrite the rule by placing an accent there. Abril, does it need an accent? Well, I'm pronouncing it as an aguda, and the rule says it's an aguda, so I don't need it. Manejando, ends with a vowel, it's a llana, and the way I'm pronouncing it is a llana, therefore I don't need an accent. Automóvil, I'm pronouncing it as a llana, the rule says it's a llana, no accent needed. Fantástico, I'm pronouncing it as drújula. We know automatically all esdrújulas and all sobresdrújulas carry an accent. And you'll have to do this similarly with the rest of this activity. The more you do, the better you're going to get at it. Please don't depend entirely on word spell check. It's good to use it. Sometimes spell check will use a different variation of the word. For example, in Práctica H, how does it know if you're saying the street or I shut her up? Or how does it know that you're saying the bathroom versus he bathed himself? So this is where you have to be extra careful on placement of your accents. Okay, I hope this presentation helped.